Hello, friends. It's John Klein third of episode 232 of Shadow and Flame with Magic, your premier Kitty Pride Locky and Magic podcast. And we're going to pause our dark web coverage for Masters of the Universe, Volume 1, Number 4. I'm not sure when we'll see the movie. Well, actually, we're going to watch it Tuesday, I am sure. Rough start. But I'm pretty excited about it. It's the original movie is on Tubi, so we're gonna try to watch that this weekend. And I own this for the sweet Marvel 25th anniversary frame cover. Trying not to cover the cover. And then we're going to spoil Uncanny X-Men Volume 629, What If Uncanny X-Men 1, Cyclops Volume 4 5, X-Men 97 Season 2 1, Godzilla Infinity War 5, Just Spectacular Collection, Storms, Earth's Mightiest Mutant 5, Wade Wilson Deadpool 5, and X-Men of Apocalypse, and Iron Man 6. But first, I pre-ordered the PS5 Wolverine game. My lovely wife gave me $100 PlayStation pack from Costco for Christmas, so I've been saving it this entire time knowing that Wolverine was coming out. I'm going to take September 15th off and just play the game. So if you're on, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jacko SII. You should be seeing a bunch of videos that day. I spent $80 for the digital deluxe edition. The gameplay trailer looks super awesome and bloody, and I thought Jean looked pretty cool. The game isn't going to disappoint at all. I have heard though that they are saying that this takes place before the formation of the X-Men, so that seems questionable as I mean Wolverine does solo adventures all the time about the X-Men, so easily explainable to just say, hey, I didn't call him. And so, boom, problem solved. I guess it gives them somewhere to go for Wolverine too. Uh, oh, and I just saw today I thought it got scraped, but the Ninja Turtles Last Ronin game just released a trailer or at least a teaser. So I guess it didn't get scrapped. So that's nice. So yes, Masters in the Universe Volume 1, Number 4 of the 25th anniversary covers. I have covered Captain America, Daredevil, and Marvel Age. So Masters of the Universe joins that exclusive club. You can follow along on my YouTube and TikTok channels at Jocko SII. And let's get oh, and so the border for our non-YouTube friends, it's and this was under the Star Comics banner. So they were doing a Care Bears movie. We'll at least have a cover for that as well. So anyways, we have Spider-Man, the Parker one in the symbiote suit, Hulk, Iron Man during his red and gray suit, Captain Marvel, the Monica one, Doctor Strange, Namor, Captain America, Wasp, Ant-Man, Puck on the very bottom, Shadowcat, who, yes, is the only reason I own this. I think I owned most of the women of Marvel when they did that banner. Um, I think I own them all, or I own a good number of them. Rogue, Logan, Colossus, Storm, Mohawk era, Rachel Summers, Nightcrawler, Iceman, Jean, Cyclops, Angel, Beast, Daredevil. One of my favorite couples, Wanda and Vision, Hawkeye, Luke Cage, Ben Grimm, She-Hulk, Invisible Woman, Reed, Human Torch, and Thor. So pretty great. And this came out November 1986 to tie in with the Marvel's 25th anniversary. This issue is called Snakes Alive. On the far off planet Eternia, a great game of strength and skill draws to its apparent conclusion as we see Rio Blast. Nice enough that this is an 86 comics. Everyone just names their people. I'm pretty sure I had this action figure of Rio, and I'm pretty sure I didn't play with him correctly at all. And he's doing a training seminar with Prince Adam, excuse me. And then he gets scared, Rio gets scared by a snake, and it turns out this is his good friend Shout Sprout, who he must be constantly scared of whenever Shout Sprout enters a room trunk first, which I imagine will be 98% of the time. I'm not sure when's the last time I went butt first through a door. I guess when you're helping move a couch or something, which also I don't do that too often, thankfully. Once you're 44, you don't really move too many couches. Anyway, so those two pals are just hanging out. Uh, Prince Adam had Oracle on his side, so seems questionable. And then over in Snake Mountain, we get Skeletor planning a new scheme, and he's going to enlist the Snake Men. And I definitely had the green leader guy, and I think either this brownish red cobra snake or the neck popping guy. I distinctly remember playing my sister. Shout outs to Jamie. Hello. Um, in the Ninja Turtle cartoon series, when Leonardo revealed that he's afraid of snakes, I definitely had this guy, the leader, taunt Leonardo, and that was a distinct memory. So Skeletor looking very cool. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even reveal who the creative team is. Writer Mike Carlin, breakdowns Ron Wilson, finishes Dennis Janke, letter John Morelli, colors Bob Sharon, editor Ralph Macchio, editor-in-chief Tom DeFago, and chieftain Jim Shooter. Mike Carlin, I believe, is a famous Batman writer, right? Like because I feel like he got memorized as immortalized as a character in one of the Batman animated series. The series, series. Yeah, you know Portal series. Yeah. Anyways, so Ginger, Prince Adam, Oracle are walking away. As far as I know, Oracle is not in the current movie. But at least I mean, honestly, the current movie, I know it takes place a little bit on Earth, but if we could just have him be on Earth for like 10 minutes and the rest of it in Eternia, I think that would be a nice switch from the original. Um, if you're not on a budget or don't want to watch a movie on Tubi, Vudu has Masters of the Universe for $5, which I brought it up at dinner and my wife made a face like, we don't need that. I'm like, all right. Fun fact, trivia. The actress who played Tila in the original movie, Scott Bakula's wife. I believe current wife. So there's that. But I do believe second wife. If I remember my Scott Bakula marriages. Anyways, I love Scott Bakula. Great actor. Quantum Leap, right? And then Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Maria Bello. Yeah. And of course Enterprise. When Bob Saget had his podcast when he was still with us, on YouTube, I made a little comment like, "Hey, you should interview Scott Bakula. You guys were on Quantum Loop together," as if Bob Saget wouldn't know. And then literally like 3 weeks later, he had Scott Bakula on the thing. And I like to think that he was like, "Hey, that is a good idea," because Bob Saget even like hearted my comment. And I was like, "Oh, Bob Saget." I don't know. I think whenever people go like celebrity deaths that hit you the hardest, I always go Bob Saget because literally I had him in my ears for like, months, and then all of a sudden he was dead. And I was like, what? Yeah. So anyway, celebrity deaths. So, um, troubles afoot. So Prince Adam raises his mighty sword and becomes He-Man, the most powerful man in the world. Hey, Masters of the Universe. Oh, by the way, Horax on this thing, famous She-Ra villain. He's not in this issue at all. Oh, choice, right? Um, Masters of the Universe is the bad guys, right? Like the heroes aren't the Masters of the Universe. I don't know. Maybe it's because I always associate the word master with racism, and so I always just go bad guys, right? Or was He-Man trying to take back the word masters? I don't know. I remember the Marvel universe has a villain called the Master, and he tried to get Luke Cage to work for him. He's like, "You can call me the Master," and Luke Cage, without missing a beat, was like, "No, dog, I'm not doing that." Oh man, hey Marvel, I know you listen. I could probably write a sweet Luke Cage issue series. Every so often, I'm like, man, I should do a webcomic, and I'm like, I can't draw. And then my thoughts of a webcomic go away. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe I can do a crude drawing. I don't know. I think about it. Anyway, so everyone's separated. He-Man's going to Snake Island. Then Skeletor reveals he has a cool claw and like T-Rex head for a glove, which I had these as a toy as toys, so that's just fun. My trinity of childhood cartoons was definitely Ninja Turtles, He-Man, and Ghostbusters, and which for my money, real Ghostbusters still the best part of that franchise. Um, Probably add Alvin the Chipmunks, and I can't think of a fifth cartoon that I was like hardcore for. Oh, I guess Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. That comes to mind. That feels right. Or DuckTales. Oh man, now I'm making a top 10 list. Gummy Bears. Now I'm just thinking about amazing animated theme songs. Remember theme songs? I miss theme songs. Um, Skeletor's T-Rex head grabs He-Man's sword of power. Um, oh yeah, then the leader, the Snake Man, reveals his cool action sequence. His top chest armor is revealing a snake body and snake arms. How does he use the bathrooms? I don't know. How does it work out? He also has snake hips. Pretty cool. So he's taking out Rio, and Snapshot flashes water at him, which snakes hate water. And oh man, Fig Newtons. Apparently they used to come in different flavors. See if I can hack the code here. There's fig, apple, cherry, and blueberry. Yeah, I don't know. I think they only do fig now, right? Oh man, I sort of want Fig Newton now. Oh man, this advertising is working on me. Um, so He-Man gets his sword back. He defeats the Snake Guys. Probably should be reading the captions, as that's usually what I do. Snake Guys run away. Skeletor gets a nice reverse hug or a hug from behind. And, but don't fret because Skeletor just vanishes away. Classic villain. And hey, gang, drop us a line and let us know what you think of the story. Oh yeah, He-Man. Oh, they call it He-Mail, but the mail is the postal mail. That's fun. Was He-Man trying to teach us a lesson? Orko's like, I mean, did you let Skeletor get your sword so that Snout Sprout and Rio would have to team up to save the day? Whether I did or didn't, Orko, I'll never tell. Ginger's like, guys, shall we go, please? Huh? Come on, please. And He-Man ends the issue just laughing, like, ha 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 ha. Which, by the way, He-Man creator recently passed. Then I know John, was it Eway? Was the voice of He-Man from the animated series? He passed away like a year or two ago. Then there's a Crest inside cover, back cover ad, and then these little puppet guys. What were they called? Popples, of course. They were cuties. I think my sister had one, maybe. Or maybe a lady classmate of mine had one. I remember seeing these a lot. And so everyone, that's Masters of the Universe issue 4. I can only assume there's been but any He-Man comic has called itself Masters of the Universe. Well, I'm sure He-Man himself will sell a title. So on our patent, oh no, I don't do the Shadow and Flame scale on the podcast. Hey everyone, you're listening on TikTok. Um, Or hey, direct, but I always do a on our legendary patented scale, Shadow and Flame of Magic scale of how many out of three does a comic book get. This gets a soft one for Shadow Cat on the cover. Yeah, I definitely not do that on the podcast. Anyways, so let's spoil some comics, everybody. So, Uncanny X-Men Volume 629. No Ember this issue, but lots of conclusions. Warden Ellis is trying to flee to her helicopter. Apparently, she's been under the illusion that she's been a kind overseer. I love Monet holding her own against Perimeter as he controls Sarah Gaunt. Rogue tries to hurt Cannonball as he's nigh invulnerable while he's blasting. Gambit, now with giant bat wings, ruins the jacket Rogue got him for Christmas, which is very cute. He doubly confirms, which I like, that Cannonball isn't real and Rogue twists not Sam's head right around round. I like Rogue's Sherlock to Monet's Watson. Not Karma takes over Logan's mind, but Nightcrawler handles him. Logan probably couldn't kill Kurt even if he wanted to. Pretty impressive. Jubilee takes down the rest of the not New Mutants. Cool, almost splash page of Mutina killing Colossus. We don't see Magic Colossus this issue. I can see Matina's die AI scum being a bit online. Quicksilver shows up to help Monet. Probably would have been useful to bring along some Uncanny Avengers, but this is a purely mutant matter. He's been helping communicate between Rogue and Monet, so that is nice. I do like when a bunch of unexpected mutants appear in a comic. Monet calls Quicksilver her love, so that's very cute. Siren and Fred Duke steal the threat at the door, the threat being Banshee, and they hug it out as they should. Siren and Banshee, that is. Banshee wrecks Warden Ellis's helicopter, but she's okay. I'm not really sure why he had to do it that way. We do see Dazzler's one of the prisoners, so that's nice to see Allison again. The Outliers figure out they were in an illusion, so they're back home now, somehow. Becca was super scared about Jitter's Caesar. Um, Logan's claws Perimeter's face, well, the body's face of Scurvy, and we learned that he went back to his original body at the end, so that's convenient. Rogue needs to get Gambit some serious help, so Monet's going to lead the team as Mars needs mutants. So yeah, fun little arc. What if Uncanny X-Men? Pretty impressive that a comic I thought would be a guarantee to have Kitty Pryde in it. Doesn't even have her nor magic, from what I could tell. What if Cyclops didn't leave his wife for his high school girlfriend, the comic? Jean is hurt and abandons Earth in a spin-off tease I don't think anyone actually wants. Before she leaves, she mind wipes Mr. Sinister and Madeline Pryor, so that's nice. Scott and Maddie try to leave the X-Men behind, which I love. Even Emma Frost shows up in a fantastic near splash page. Scott resists her. Then one day, Madeline, who has access to her telepathic powers, shows Nathan the history of the X-Men. He wants to be a superhero. They form the House of X, which is cute. We get a great timeline page showing Atlantis attacks and acts of vengeance. Sinister sees Madeline on a news report and wants his creation back and causes the mutant massacre. Cable, the New Mutants were away, but most of the X-Men weren't. Magic might be the blonde on the staircase with maybe a metal sleeve, but I don't feel like that could also be anyone, or at least any blonde. I'll have to look to see what fandom decides. The New Mutants are Teen Cable, Wolfsbane, Nature Girl, Pixie, and Globherman. Madeline dies, which I hate, and New Mutants get there before Scott does. Before Scott dies. Cyclops forms X-Force consisting of Logan, Colossus, Domino, and the Summers boys. They take a hardline approach to saving the day. Then Krakoa happens without the resurrection protocols. Impressive they made it that far without resurrection. Arakko shows up and the X-Men barely win, but the world has sent every nuclear bomb they have, and likely, like any classic what if, they all die in the end. So, the end. X-Men 97 season 2 number 1. I really like Sam Keefe getting a in memoriam in some of this week's comics. I imagine the difficulty of trying to figure out who gets tributes and for how long. Sal Buscema's tribute page is still showing up, which I love. This comic works as a bridge between the two seasons of X-Men 97, the animated series. Hopefully they handle this right and the comic isn't just copying ideas that would be covered, but also if that happens, fine. I'm a huge sucker for Forge's Wall of Mutants that includes both Kitty Pryde and Magic. We sadly know Magic's fate, but we still have Kitty's fate to hopefully discover in animation or even here. I like seeing X Factor arrive on Genosha and Cable is forming his new Mutants team with Jubilee and Sunspot along with Archangel and Psylocke. So this should be a fun series. Um, Cyclops Volume 4 or 5, pretty great conclusion to this mini. Cyclops versus Pierce, with May and all of her friends doing the bulk of the attack. I like how it turned into a Pokemon battle with Scott calling out all the attacks. Pierce is so overwhelmed that hearing the next attack doesn't give him enough time to counter. Then Cyclops comes uh, to do a mountain destroying optic blast that wins the day. Magic and the X-Men arrive to pick up Scott. A little sad that Scott will be an X-Men so that May and her friends don't have to be. Just like, that's not how it should be framed, but also I get it. You don't want to be on the X-Men if you don't want to risk your life, and some people just, want to live their normal lives and not be soldiers. Godzilla Infinity War 5. So much of this comic was Doom versus Null. Then Human Torch and Spider-Man, the Morales one, showed up, and I start having the thought of where is the Human Torch during all these symbiote events? Being a fire guy would be pretty handy. Maybe too handy. We see Null influence magic for the smallest of panels, and the last third of the comic is dedicated to setting up Godzilla conquers the multiverse, which should just be another 5 issues of Noah and Godzilla and a slew of Altzillas. I think I'm losing my enthusiasm for this series. Noah, Noah-ified Rocket Raccoon was pretty cute. At least Emma will be in the next miniseries. But I would definitely say the first one, Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, was definitely better than the second one, which I know is usually what happens with the middle chapter of a trilogy, but I don't know. I did like Doom calling him Kid Cable and Kid Cable telling him not to call him that. Like that's pretty funny. Just Spectacular Collection, the J. Scott Campbell collection. Get it? JSC. Pretty clever. Great interview with the legend. I love so much how often he mentioned Art Adams's Uncanny X-Men Annual 10 being an inspiration for him. Campbell's magic is a double page spread, which I love, and is seen on the full double page spread of combining all the characters to one, which was the cover to a uh one of one War Under Doom. Was it Dungeons of Doom? No, no. It was whatever came from one War Under Doom and Dungeons of Doom. There was a one shot in The Will of Doom. Oh, this old dad's memory. Like a steel trap. Her variant was the cover to Magic number 8, which I also appreciated the checklist of variant covers at the end. Storm Earth's Mightiest Mutant 5 final issue, zombie magic scene in the Morrowlands. We get very meta idea that Storm always wins, and so naturally, Storm just wins in the end. Like, yeah. So thus ends Storm. From the previews or solicitations, does not look like she's getting another series. So this just ended, everybody. X-Men of Apocalypse 4, the AOA X-Men arrived during Mystique's Brotherhood days while Rogue is still there. Gambit's looking for Carol Danvers to stop Rogue from absorbing her powers. Feels like forever since issue 3 came out, and we're getting an Omega issue that over promises to have a conclusion fans talk about for years. I can't imagine people talking about this meeting now, but we'll see if it ties into Armageddon or something. Seems too early to be setting up a 2027 event, but Inferno Hulk is doing that, so who knows? Could be the Fall of X event too, as I don't believe DNX is lasting the rest of the year. But also we have Hellfire Murder to set up some plots as well. Now I'm not even talking about this comic anymore. Which comic? Wade Wilson, Deadpool 5, Deadpool defeats Hammerhead, Al is still a bud, and there will be more issues of this. And then Iron Man 6, Joanne Campbell is the guest artist for this fun Spider-Man, the Parker one, and Norman Osborn teaming up with Tony Stark um, to fight ghosts. Nolan Warward sticks around as the colorist, so the trade should have a nice visual continuity, which is pretty smart. Literally, the comic had to mention Norman Osborn being Iron Patriot before I was like, oh yeah, Osborn and Stark do have a connection. Next week's comics will be Jay and Silent Bob, Jays of Future Past, which has Lockheed on the cover, so I like that. Wolverine Volume 821, teaming up with Nightcrawler. Avengers Armageddon, so we'll see what this crossover is all about. Though for some reason Marvel announced the new Avengers lineup that takes place after this event, so it's going to be um, Captain Marvel, Logan, Spider-Man, the Parker one, Luke Cage, and whatever mysterious hero comes out of Avengers Armageddon. So, and they're calling it like Survivors of Armageddon or something. So it's like, all right. Oh, Daredevil's on the team too. So, but it's very odd that they're promoting the next thing after Armageddon ends. But at least we know the universe isn't reshaping itself. So that's nice. Civil War Unmasked 2, which seems missable. X-Men Volume 731, Bishop 1, Captain Marvel Dark Past 3. So we got some issues to review for next issue or episode. And yeah, none of these comics broke the top 10. So I think for oh no, I'm sorry. We did add one. So number top X comics so far: Magic Colossus 4, X-Men United 1 for Marigold, Moonstar 3, Avengers Volume 934, Generation X 23. Um, then at number 6, Inferno Hulk 7, number 7, X-Men 97 Season 2 1, because it has Kitty Pryde in it for a page. So, well, on a wall. Her face is seen on a wall of screens. But this top 10 list is slowly just becoming a list of Kitty Pryde appearances, which usually is what the list becomes with Lockheed appearances, but that guy is not showing up just yet. But it is only June, so um number 8, Sorcerer Supreme 3, number 9, Uncanny X-Men Volume 628, and X-Men Volume 728. So that everyone was episode 232 of Shadow and Flame with Magic. Thank you so much for listening or watching. You're one of our YouTube friends. Um, you can follow me and my writing at shadowandflamewithmagic.com. And I'm Jackal SII on most social platforms. Hey, if you have a website you like that gives you X-Men variant covers, I would love to get that into my rotation. I go to AIPT and Comics XF and would love to be hip to any other um websites that reveal variant covers because it's otherwise I'm just going to League of Comic Book Geeks on Mondays and Fridays and be like, do I have every comic cover? And it'd just be nice to see because I do not know why Marvel's like, hey, we're going to release 6 variant covers for most comics and yet don't reveal that to the people who need to pre-order comics from before the deadline. Because DCBS is pretty good about it, but also like they don't update their website with covers. So I don't know, I'm always just playing a catch-up game of what variant covers do I want. So yeah, appreciate that. And hi, if you want to be a guest on the podcast or want me as a guest on a podcast of yours, feel free to reach out. I'll get more guests. I'm trying to set up at least one for the summer. But more on that as that becomes real. But a little tease. And oh yeah, Masters Universe. I I got this from Mile High Comics in fine edition, and honestly, this looked like a brand new comic to me. So I don't know what they graded it on, but who knows? So I'm Jacko's SII on most socials, and the podcast is at SNFWM. Um, so yeah, look forward to that. So everyone. Please don't have any shadows of doubt. Ignite those flames and make like magic and have a great week, everybody. And thank you so much for listening or watching. Until next time, bye.